What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Weathering the Storm. I'm your host, Dakota Wolf, and today it's just going to be a little quick video. We're going to be talking about, could the UFL be getting a video game, a competitor to Madden, another sports video game along with NBA 2K and FIFA and, all of those type of games? Well, according to Mike Straw of Insider Gaming, that very much could be the case. Um, See here an exclusive UFL exploring the possibility of an official video game. He goes on down here to describe another professional football league could be making its way to video games. Insider Gaming has learned that the United Football League has had preliminary talks to license out its logos, uniforms, and branding. So basically, they're in discussions with certain, I assume, video game publishers regarding licensing out their branding. So all of the current logos for all of the UFL teams, the uniforms for the UFL teams, which we haven't even yet to see for 3 of the teams, and the branding. So obviously that very intriguing information. Sources with knowledge of the talks say that UFL has had talks with at least 2 companies about video game opportunities. And Insider Gaming has learned about those companies, but is protecting the sources who are not authorized to speak about it. Apparently, these talks have been going on for months, and they're looking for new ways to expand their reach. So obviously, we already know the league is undergoing major changes, and just another way to market this league to a much broader fan base. So again, as Mike Straw goes on to explain here, it wasn't clear if these talks also involved players. So if any of you all are familiar with college football or NCAA football from back in the day, basically used to, on the old college football games, they didn't have the rights to license the player's likeness in those games. So what essentially would happen is you'd have the players, but you wouldn't have their names. They would usually have the same number. It would, you could recognize that it was that player, but you just could not use their names. So for Tim Tebow, for example, it would just say QB number 15. Or you could probably go in and just auto-generate random names. But so that's what they're still trying to work out. Obviously, it's a lot of contractual stuff and legal stuff that they would have to go through to see if they had the rights to use those player names. I would assume it would be much more simple compared to the college situation back then. I think it would be I would assume that it would be a lot more comparable to the NFL and how Madden works. I mean, you've signed a contract with that league. I would assume, again, a lot of assumptions, that you've signed a contract with that league. That league has the right to use you in the video game as they please. But then again, maybe they didn't agree to that when they signed the contract, and they would have the right to opt out. But if you're a player in the UFL, I can't imagine why in the world would you want to. Wouldn't that be awesome for you? For example, Bryce Perkins. And again, this is no disrespect to Bryce Perkins or any other UFL player. Obviously, very talented players. But if you go on NFL and play with your player, he might not be on the game. And if he is on the game, let's just be honest, he's probably going to be a free agent or a third string on some team, or, and playing with your actual player, it's just not going to be as enjoyable. And for a lot of players, they're just not on any game at all. But for Bryce Perkins on the UFL video game, he was the former UFL Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. I mean, that is an exciting and dynamic player to play with, and imagine building a franchise with, starting a league and doing a fantasy draft, and picking Bryce Perkins to be your quarterback, or you wouldn't take over the Michigan Panthers anymore, but whatever new team gets Bryce Perkins, So that is something that's really exciting, not only for the fans, but also, obviously, I would assume, for the players to be able to go in and play as themselves. seems like an awesome idea. Um, but obviously, he goes on to explain here, Mike Straw, that any potential announcement remains some time away if it happens at all. So obviously, they are very early in these talks, but he explains that the talks have been described as positive. So, yeah, and again, they're not believed to be close to completion. But really, that's all the information we have at this point. Again, very early in the talks, but I think just the fact that we're getting these rumors or this type of information out at all is incredibly exciting. Um, but they reached out to the UFL officially for this story, and the UFL declined to comment, citing league policy. Our policy is that we don't talk about any of our business conversations or negotiations, a spokesperson for the league said. Um, so, just to give my thoughts really quick, obviously, if you couldn't tell from how I'm talking about it, I think it's an amazing idea. Even if you're not someone that's into video games and you just want the UFL to be a successful league in general, this is an amazing idea. There are a lot of people like myself who have been fed up with EA Sports, which, yeah, no, I mean, I can't really, I want to give them some grace, but there really isn't any to give with Madden, with the way they've handled Madden, and with the way they brought back college football, and that was a nice first step. But we can see the game going down the same path as what Madden has gone down for years and years and years. Like back in the day, Madden was like a really genuinely fun football game for people who even didn't care about football. And obviously, for people who are not into football, that can get someone into it. You can start, like I said, start a franchise, create your own character, get drafted to a team in the game, and some people could get attached to that team in real life and then decide to start rooting for them. But either way, especially with this brand new league, you get people who are sick of Madden and just want another good football game. They might look at this and try it out and be like, oh wow, this is actually really fun as an alternative to Madden. And aside from that, even if it's someone who is okay with Madden in its current state, um, this could just be an alternative to it. Obviously, NFL season ends. The hype for the NFL kind of dies down, and those people who are playing Madden may get burnt out on Madden, and they're looking for an alternative. Kind of similar to how the literal watching of NFL to the watching of UFL might kind of work. They might choose to invest their time in a separate football league that's actually going through its active season. Um, and then obviously they get into that game and it causes them to have more interest in the season. You're playing with this team in the video game repetitively. You're gaining more attachment to that team and the league through the video game. And then, you gain attachment to the real life team in the real life league and watch more games, go to more games, and so on. I don't think there's a way for this to be a negative other than they come out and they just make a bad game. Of course, from the business sense, you could see it could be a negative from they invest more money than they return. But I think even if that is the case, the game doesn't return a profit. I think the overall league will see a return on profit, even if it isn't a direct return on profit in terms of fan engagement, fan support, and just more people who genuinely care about the league. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really all I have to say about it. Obviously, I think it's an incredible idea. That would definitely be a purchase for me. I think it would be awesome. We've already seen a ton of renders from people putting the UFL teams into Madden. So there's obviously a lot of support, like a lot of interest for this type of thing. But let me know what you guys think. Would you all want to play a United Football League video game? Is that something you're interested in? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a stupid idea? Let me know. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Go Storm. Sir John.